Juanita, smile.
Oh,
Well, good morning. My name is Rodkin. I am the AFC President for this year. I work at Santa Fe College, and I am just delighted to welcome you all to Jupiter, Florida. That's a big yawn. Keep that coffee going. We have a great agenda planned for you all. Juanita, Scott, and the team, the membership development team, have really done an excellent job. And so, before we kick things off, I would really like to give an opportunity for Juanita to introduce her team, so you all know who have been working for the past 6 months to make this conference happen. So, Juanita, I'm going to turn the floor over to you, and we can get some folks introduced.
okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy New Year. Clap your hands. Right. Okay. Let's give our committee a welcome and a thank you for their hard work. From Region 1, we have Miss Annie Todd. Where is she? Stand up. Oh, come on. Give her a little bit more than that. And also Melissa Pinero from Gulf Coast State. Where is she? Stand up. Region 3, Miss Joyce Smith. I'm sorry, Region 2. Yeah, they can say Region 2. Region 3 is Cynthia Nash and Issa Suarez. Where are you? Okay. Region 4, Marta Klinger, Matt James, and Sally. Where are you? Okay, great. For Region 5, Mr. Miguel Ramirez. Where are you? He's coming. All right, I'm going to turn it back over to our president, and we got a great day planned for you guys today. If you're happy, you know, clap your hands.
So besides chairing the Membership Development Committee, Juanita is also, of course, your president-elect. And I got to say, considering how important membership is, our organization is an organization of people. Without people, we don't do anything. We cannot accomplish our goals without members. Because if we were to have a meeting and nowhere to show up, it would be hard to conduct business. It's hard to network without people, and those people are our members. The Membership Development Committee is imperative in success. On your campuses, in your chapters, within your commissions and regions, it's working with your members, it's bringing them in, it's organizing your group for success. And that's what we're talking about today. So I'm just so glad that you are here to spend some time and energy learning to improve your organization throughout AFC. So before we do get started, though, we need to go ahead and recognize some other folks who are here, members of the Executive Committee. If you wouldn't mind standing so that we can introduce you, please. In the back of the room is your Vice President for Commissions, Robert Flores. And we have our Vice President for Regions and Chapters, LaFran Redden, in the house. To my left is the Vice President-elect for Commissions, Dr. Bob Andrew. Vice President-elect for Regions and Chapters is Mercedes. And in the back, we brought him out of retirement. The past president is Byron Todd. And of course, our organization also, besides our executive officers, I introduced you already. So.
Yes.
Okay. Feel good. That's what I thought. We're on the same page. All right. I don't want anyone to say, you skipped Juanita. The other piece our organization uses and who really we need for their success are members of our staff who work for the home office, if you will, up in Tallahassee. We have several members of our staff here at this conference. If you have not met them, you certainly should do so. Right here up front is Adrian Bryant, who works with membership and technology. In the back of the room, waving her hand, is Marcia Kiner, your Associate Executive Director. I don't see her, so I'm guessing she's outside doing check-in, is Eileen Johnson. Yes. And our Executive Director is Michael Brawer. And the floor is yours.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I had completely forgotten that I was part of the welcome wagon here this morning. Marcia politely reminded me. But I just want to say a couple things. First of all, I got good news and bad news. Actually, I really don't have any bad news. The good news is I am not giving a legislative update at this. Believe me, it's better for me than it is for any of y'all, I can assure you that. But I will be conducting a roundtable this afternoon where we'll talk about how you can use our advocacy efforts through the association to help you recruit and bring new members into the family. This is my 7th year with the association. I know a lot of people think that I still started just last January in this job. But believe it or not, I'm in my 7th year now. And this has actually become one of my favorite events that we do on an annual basis. And for a couple reasons. Number one, we always do it at a pretty decent location. Everybody like this location?
Love it.
Is this okay? Yeah. We feel it's appropriate to have the July meeting in Florida at a beach location. We're very sorry that the word resort is in the title, and for some of your travel offices that may present a little bit of a problem. But you know, if your travel office has a problem with the word resort and you're trying to book a hotel in Florida, that takes about 50% of the property is kind of off the list. So feel free to make up a name, you know, for as long as you get the address right. It really doesn't, you could call it, you know, Joe's Hotel in Jupiter Beach, Florida. Nobody would know the difference. And enjoy it. But it's become one of my favorite meetings for a couple of reasons. Number one, certainly the location. And because of the location, I think everybody's very relaxed and casual, and we build a great deal of camaraderie among you all as our association leaders. But I think more importantly for me is, I think Dan really started the conversation that you're going to have for the next day and a half, is that we're a membership organization, and membership is everything to us. You know, you might not think, you know, how your little $35 and $45 membership dues really make a difference, but they are the difference between us being here and us not being here. Dan was exactly right. Many of the things we do, we cannot do without your membership, without your support, and most importantly, without your volunteerism. But mainly for you, I always tell Marcia and Adrian that, you know, we always have to be sure when we do one of these workshops that we give all of our members something to take away. You know, when I go to a conference or a convention, whether it's in Florida or whether it's across the country, you know, my goal is always to try to at least bring one thing back to the AFC that I can put into practice that will help advance us as an organization in some way or another, whether it's a technology thing I learned that I can turn Adrian onto, whether it's a programmatic thing or an educational thing that I've learned that I can share with Marcia, whether it's an operational, administrative, or management tool that I've discovered that I can work with Eileen on. Whatever it may be, I look for that one thing that I can utilize for the AFC to really make a difference. And I hope you will do the same kind of thing. Try to find at least one thing the next day and a half that you can take back to your campus and to your chapter that will help you not only do your job better as your chapter leader, but also help you move forward the development of membership in your chapter. I'm here to tell you our membership numbers are down a little, folks. You know, we've kind of had a drop-off for the last year and a half. Not a major drop-off, but we're down about 400 or 500 members from where we were at the end of 2013. And when we were pushing right at 8,000 members, actually I think we went a shade over 8,000 members if I recall. We were close to 8,100 members. Right now I think we're hovering about 7,500 members. Now that's all members, okay? And when you think about that for an organization, that's a lot of members. It really is. Most state organizations in Tallahassee don't have that many members, okay? But when you consider there are about 25 or 30,000 employees at the 28 Florida colleges across the state, and we maybe have 25% of them, it tells us that we still have a lot of work to do. You know, I'm from the old school. I believe that you should belong. I should believe you should belong to as many of your related support and professional organizations as you possibly can. AFC is a good bargain for anybody. You know, for your 45 bucks that some of you pay, some pay a little bit more, some pay a little bit less. We think we give back quite a bit. And a lot of that revolves around not only our member programs and our member services, but certainly the role that we try to play in supporting advocacy and lobbying and policy issues that affect all of you and all of your colleges, that really spur a lot of the things that end up, for those of you at union colleges, that end up affecting what unions do in contracting, the work we do in tenure, the work we do in those areas of our system that really have an effect on what happens in some of the colleges that have to negotiate with unions. And we hear that a lot. Well, I joined the union, so I can't join the AFC. Okay, well, yeah, but we're kind of mutually exclusive. We have two different purposes. And really, but we think we can do more for you for your investment in our organization. The union does one thing, that's what? Negotiate your contract. That's it. That's their sole mission, okay? But when it comes to setting the policies and the direction and some other things of what goes on in the Florida college system, and particularly in our employee benefit domain, with FRS and DROP and all those areas, and this past year with trying to keep guns off of your campuses, for those of you that oppose that legislation, we think the value we bring for that little bit of a membership investment is quite significant. So we hope you will leave tomorrow with a lot of those tools and a lot of that information. And I think Juanita and her team has put together a great little packet for you. It's kind of a little workbook kind of a format. You fill in the blanks, make some decisions, and carry those back and operationalize. And before I go, I want to tell you, just talk about one other thing. In this organization, the leadership is contingent on the membership. Okay, we are always seeking new and emerging leaders in this organization, and that doesn't begin at the executive committee; it ends at the executive committee. For people like Juanita and Bob Vanderbilt and Robert Flores and Dan, they've been through the ranks, they've been through the chapter roles, they've been through the commission roles, and now they've been through the executive office roles. So I encourage all of you in this room, and I know a lot of you, and I'll get to know a lot of the rest of you. I know you're all very bright, articulate, willing people with a good sense of volunteerism about you. And you are a volunteer. We appreciate that. We don't take that for granted, and we certainly don't take it lightly. But please consider leadership in this organization. Whether you start as a chapter officer, whether you start as just a chapter liaison or a chapter resource person, start somewhere. And move yourself through the ranks of your chapter and or through the ranks of your related commission, and really consider the leadership potential that the association can provide you. Not only will it be good for you personally, I think it is good for your college. I haven't met a president yet who wasn't abundantly proud of any one of their staff people at their college who becomes an officer in this organization. Not once. So I think it's a good thing, and it definitely has to be a good thing for this organization. We struggle for officers and leadership at our chapters. We know some of you do a great job of it. Some of our chapters have a little bit more of a difficult time with that. But one of the things we're going to focus on, I think, the next couple of years, Juanita and I have already had some discussions about it. Bob Flores, who is likely to be our president-elect after our next cycle, have talked about it. We need to work real hard on developing membership and also developing our future leadership. We're in that point where a lot of the folks that have been doing this for years and years have done their duty, and we need to come in behind them with some new people and start filling their void. So please take something away from this the next day and a half. Enjoy your stay. If there's anything you need, ask Marcia. She'll take care of it for you. And have a great program. We'll turn it back over to Juanita.
All right. Okay. Now, one of the things that we like to do for all of our conferences is to make certain that we know who's in the room, so that we can start building those relationships that are going to be necessary for us to move forward. And we have an icebreaker exercise that I'm going to ask Sally, Marta, and Issa to come up and facilitate. Give them a round of applause while they're making their way up. Keep clapping until they get to the podium. That's the standard way. Keep clapping, keep clapping.